And with any luck, things will be fine.
Yeah,
We'll see. We'll see. We're in the same country now. Only a couple towns apart. Using strong internet. It says Chris is uploading. It says I'm uploading.
Yeah.
Let me open the chat, the Twitch chat over here too. Again, these are all things that I should do before we start, because everyone, it's very exciting stuff to just see me go through and open the chat. I don't know. Anyway, so welcome back to the show, everybody. Bill and Chris back with you with Outside the Cinema, your weekly source for cult movie discussion.
Yep.
Had some issues trying to broadcast last week. Went to Montreal for a few days and did some work up there. And then I wish I could say that I did more work. I didn't. I had this beautiful upgrade on the room and had this huge suite all to myself. And I just sat on the couch and watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine for more time than I probably should have.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's always fun to be in a new place like that. And, do something normal. It feels...
like, I went and I got a steak, and I had lots of poutine, and, the thing was, my whole plan, the plan for me to go up there was I was going to go up and I was going to shoot a whole bunch of stock footage. I got a couple accounts on stock footage sites, and it's a nice way to have kind of a passive income and bring a little bit of money in.
Yeah.
You shoot, high quality of, rivers and, all that stuff. So I was like, I'm going to go up there. I'm going to use the time to shoot, a bunch of stuff. And I mean, I can't speak for anyone else in any other parts of the world, but I know it was cold here last week, and it was real fucking cold in Montreal. So we're talking for Fahrenheit. We're talking it was single digits in the morning in Fahrenheit. So it was negative major negative Celsius there. So I didn't exactly want to be, and I didn't not hack right. I'm not an idiot. Well, I'm an idiot, but I'm not
we all
stupid.
are, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm not stupid. I wasn't it's going to be summer. It's still March in Canada.
In Canada.
So, I brought, a heavy jacket, but, I went out the first day when I got there, actually after we were done trying to record, and tried to walk around a bit, and it was just the wind coming off of the river, and, it was just really, really cold. And I think in my mind, we were already on to spring, so it wasn't like it was necessarily any colder than it was during the winter. But my body's not right; my body's done with that. So I ended up staying in the hotel room a large majority of the time. But I got some editing done, and I got a lot of stuff finalized for the new horror short we have coming out, which we'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, it was nice. It was just nice to sleep somewhere else, have some time to myself to just kind of chill. I ate like I said, I ate a lot of poutine. Five Guys up there sells poutine, so I definitely got that. I think I talked about that. I had that the first thing when I got there. I think I talked about it a little bit when we recorded last week. But
yeah, there's a place over at the mall that opened up where P.F. Chang's was that has poutine. Okay. So I may try that.
It's quality stuff, man. Quality stuff.
I barely leave my house, let alone the country, to go get food. So
right, yeah. We're going
when
to
I get there,
Toronto. We're going to Toronto in June for a couple Red Sox games. So going to see Vishnu, which is nice. It's the second time I've seen Vishnu in less than a year, which I don't think that's ever happened.
Nice.
But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with us last week. So
do you remember the name of the restaurant we went to on the North End?
I don't.
Yeah, me either. They had great chicken parmesan.
Some ridiculous Italian place. We'll just call it Alfredo's.
It was really good. I was thinking of it the other day. I'm like, I wouldn't mind going back there.
All those restaurants down there are like that, though, man. I don't if you go down to the
that
North
one that
End,
was on Kitchen Nightmares.
Yeah, but I don't even believe that that's really what it was like. I believe that they were we'll be on the show. We'll make it look a lot worse than we usually do.
I don't know. They closed down 6 months after he left.
I mean, the North End, I feel like, if they closed an Italian restaurant, you know what probably opened in its place?
An Italian restaurant.
An Italian restaurant.
2 Italian restaurants.
It was called Luigi's before. Now it's just called Mario's.
Yeah. They're running out of names. That's why they were so happy when they came out with Wario and Waluigi. Right. Now there's 2 more restaurant names for them.
Yeah, but
then they were going to have to go with Bowser's.
But they can make it like Mario and Luigi's or Luigi and Wario's. Anyway, yeah, thank you guys for bearing with us last week. The show came out a little late. I was able to take the audio from the stream that we did and pop that up so you guys had something last week, so we were able to keep the streak alive.
Yeah.
As we all know, once I break that streak...
Oh, at this point, that's all that's keeping the show going.
Once I break that streak, the show's never coming back.
Hey, I broke my leg. I got to take a week off. Well, it was great doing the show.
Yeah, it was nice talking to you. Anyway, so we're reevaluating this week, and I realized that I must have. I don't know whether I pushed it too far or just like Chris was decided that like the films for last week's show, like he just texted me midweek and I was like, "Hey, I'm picking all the movies for the month of April."
Yeah,
and I was like, "Okay."
Let's discuss why. Let's talk about the movies you picked for last week. Or this week, or whatever week.
We'll talk about them very briefly and give them grades so we can include them in the list of movies we've covered. But why don't you tell the people what I subjected you to?
What was it? Demon Fury.
Yep. Starring Britt Eklund.
And wait, I know. Massage Parlor Massacre. Murders. The Massage Parlor Murders, exclamation point.
Yes, the Massage Parlor Murders, exclamation point from 1972, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. If you're looking for these movies in a video store, you're going to want to look in the softcore porn.
I mean, there's no video stores anymore, really. So, I mean...
You know what? Somebody could be listening to this far in the past.
They're both on Tubi. Watch them on Tubi. They're both on Tubi.
I watched one on YouTube.
Oh, wait, no, they're not both
Boobs
on Tubi.
and everything.
I don't remember. I watched them on Tubi. We'll see.
Here's
the thing.
There were 6 sex scenes in the first 24 minutes of one of those movies.
Yeah, Demon Breath or whatever it was.
Demon Fury. It has like 12 different names.
Spoiler alert, Demon Fury, like real bad.
Yes.
Like real bad.
Yes.
Yes. I had picked that one because Britt Eklund was in it, and I'm like, she's always a good time. Angry Townsman's in the chat, too. Want to give him a shout-out. He's talking about the Twitch ads. Hey, those Twitch ads pay us.
Do they? Great.
No.
They pay Twitch.
I mean, no, I think they do. I mean, it's very little.
Well, to be fair, you do get the stream on there for free. So
yeah, we are verified and we are monetized. I've actually never checked. Wouldn't it be amazing if I checked and we had like a bunch of money in the account? Just like, I can't imagine that there is.
Like 98 cents.
Demon Pass Wind was not good.
No.
Not good at all.
I didn't finish that one. I
unfortunately did.
Yeah. Yeah, it was after the third or fourth time they pulled off their tops, I was like, okay, so we're just foregoing story. I get it. There's a massage parlor. That one actually had more of a plot than the other one. I like
the massage parlor murders with an exclamation point. I actually enjoyed that. That's the type of 70s sleaze I'm into. So
yeah, that's what it is. It's definitely sleaze. It's let's get women that will be topless all day long for the Teamsters on set, and we'll make some kind of movie around that, and whatever. But that one actually was better. But I mean, we're talking about comparing these. That's like it's nowhere near what we want from movies.
No. So what I loved about Massage Parlor Murders was it was that it had that New York level grime of that time, that mid 70s exploitation film, and really you strip away all the boobs and that stuff, and it's a very just run of the mill crime drama of them trying to find the guy. It's an episode of
Mannix.
Yeah.
It's not even like Rockford Files level.
No.
This is like a background case on Barney Miller.
So I can recommend Massage Parlor Murders. I cannot recommend Demon Coif.
Demon Queef? I would watch that. No, I wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't.
No, because it would be really immature.
I can't recommend that, but I will give the Massage Parlor Murders a fitting grade of a straight C. If you like 70s exploitation trash, you'll enjoy it. But
yeah.
But demon infection. What was it actually called? Demon
Fury was one of the titles.
Fury.
Yeah.
Demon Fury gets the dreaded D-. Like, yeah, they finished the production, but there's nothing offered for anybody in any way, shape, or form unless you really want to see Britt Eklund's body doubles boobs.
Yeah. Yeah, with that, the whole plot of the movie is the woman is basically being assaulted by a ghost. But then I'm like, well, this sounds like The Entity, which I think I've seen, and I think it psychologically.
Sorry, Barbara Hershey. The Entity is quite good.
Scarred me when I was little. But
definitely.
That's a movie about a demon that violently rapes somebody. I think more than once. And this movie was doing
Multiple
the
times.
same thing. Yeah, but except this woman was like getting into it. And I'm like, oh, see, now that just kind of ruins the whole thing for me now. You know, when the woman gets into it.
Right. Because that's what would happen.
We left enough space for Scott to pull that out and make that out of context. No.
Yep.
What I hate it when the woman is being forced upon. And then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh no, that's a great dick." They're like, "No,
no,
you're gonna try to claw his eyes out." And I thought, "Oh my god, how can they make a shitty version of The Entity?" And then I looked it up, and I'm like, "This came out a few years before."
Yes,
So
The Entity is actually quite good. I mean, that's a disturbing flick.
Yeah,
There's
I don't
that
think I
scene
want to watch that.
There's that scene in that where they take her to like the facility to like watch her or whatever and put her in like the made up house in the facility, and the thing still comes in and rapes her while she's like in the care of the like doctors. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, that's a good hard. It's an unknowable thing. It's that fear of the unknown, but you know what it is, but you don't know why it's there or how it's happening. That's a huge scary thing that it follows you, and like Paranormal Activity kind of followed up with that too, with the little whatever Yoda footprints that were running around the house. Still, first time watching it was creepy, but this felt like if VHS was a booby anthology series. It was basically a wraparound for women writhing on beds with their boobs out.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Both movies get what they hoped they would have on screen. And I'll recommend the other one because it's stupid fun. If we ever had, like, if you projected something in your backyard and had people over, that's what I'd want to watch. But then again, it's out in public and there's a lot of boobs. But you know what I mean. It's that kind of like community of people where you can really make fun of it.
So Chris says to me, "I'm doing the movies for April."
Yeah, enough of this fun, happy bullshit.
No, there's nothing fun and happy about any of it.
So what
are we doing this week then?
This week, we're doing one that I recommended to you a while ago, and then it disappeared off streaming services. And now that it's back, I figured we could do, and I'm ignoring the 10-year rule as well, because I'm doing what I want this month. Await further instructions.
Yes.
Which is a lot scarier now than when I first watched it.
My God, yes, same here.
Yeah, and the other one that we're doing is almost at 10 years, but not quite. But I dare say it is my favorite found footage movie. Like, this
really?
tops the list. Yeah, I'll get
Okay.
into it. We are going to cover a movie that chronicles the early adventures of the main character from the TV show Superstore, and that is As Above, So Below. A movie with a poster that looked great, did not convey at all to me what it was about, so I was not interested.
Right.
And then I saw some clips. I'm like, oh.
I think too, man. I think this came out at the time where we were like, I don't want to watch any more found footage stuff, because there had been a lot of studio found footage stuff that just didn't really click.
And this was big promoted studio.
Yeah. And I think one of the things too I remember was it was frustrating because the Dowells did this, who was the team behind one of my favorite found footage films, if not my favorite, the Poughkeepsie tapes.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
But they
that
hadn't
one's great
released,
too.
they haven't released at that time. They hadn't released the Poughkeepsie tapes anywhere, but yet they were giving these guys all this money to make this other movie, and it was like, well, put out the good, like put out the movie we know is good.
I remember being at the theater at the mall, putting that poster up, thinking, "Oh, this looks creepy." Okay, and then it sat in that poster case for 2 years.
I remember that.
And then I'm like, and then I wasn't working there anymore, and I'm like, I wonder what happened to that movie. Yeah. And then I watched it. I'm like, oh, I see why they couldn't put that out. Who could sit through that in a theater? Like,
I don't know.
A normal audience member that wants to go see a horror movie is not going to be happy about a guy luring Girl Scouts into his house.
No. But it's such a good film. So well done.
Those kids were so smart. That's my favorite part of the movie, where the one kid's like, "Oh yeah, my mom knows where we go. I live right around the corner." And it's like, "Oh, okay, maybe you ought to get the fuck out then." Because like that, and that's the thing. Like, I watched it with the kids because now they're 14, right? And I'm like, this is why I want to know where you are all the time, and this is why you tell people that I know where you are, because you don't know. Right. Also, don't go in anybody's house.
Have you AirTagged the girls yet? Have you like somehow managed to get an AirTag somewhere on them so that they don't know that it's there?
No, but they have their phones. For Christmas, like we had no idea what to get. We got them watches, so they have their watches.
All right.
And I can track them with Find My iPhone, but I'm testing out this new app called Life 360.
Oh, I've seen that one.
It's actually not bad because it'll let everybody know when I get to work safe or driving conditions and stuff like that, and you can see where everybody is individually. And I mean, because of Rip's diabetes, I need to know where she is.
Absolutely.
All the time. So it's not that I'm spying on them, but there's also how I feel about like when I'm in Boston and they're here and I can't do anything to help if something happens. Right. I just like knowing, like just looking at the phone now, don't have to bother anybody. I'm like, okay, good. Everybody's home and everybody's safe. Right. So it's just, parent and husband paranoia.
No, I hear you 100%, man. Same thing with Travis. I got Travis on Find My iPhone.
Yep.
My worry is, though, like if he loses his phone.
Yeah. So. You'll know where it is.
I mean, I know where the phone is.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the Dow brothers did as above, so below. So we're going to start with await further instructions. But one moment before we get to that, I want to make sure that I implore all of you to join the Patreon if you haven't already. Patreon.com/outside the cinema. You get the shows early, normally. Like I said, I know last week was different. I apologize for last week. And we're a day late this week because I had baseball practice yesterday at our normal recording time. But don't worry, you'll still get it early. Plus all of the exclusive music shows that are available there and a whole bunch of stuff that you can't get anywhere else. And it also gives you that link to that archive that's got everything we've ever done.
Yeah,
special episodes. All of the regular episodes going all the way back to episode 1, and this is episode 738. So,
yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of stuff there. It's $5 a month if you buy the lower tier. You can pay for the entire year up front, so you don't have to worry about monthly payments. You get yourself a 15% discount if you do that also. All that money just goes right back into the show hosting fees, the equipment for the studio, and the internet that we need to be able to do the show, and the storage, all that stuff. So every dime that we make on that goes directly back into the show. And if you like the show and you like listening to independent independent podcasters, is the best way to support us.
Yeah.
So patreon.com/outside the cinema. All right. 2018. Await further instructions. Let's take a listen to this trailer. Hold on. No, I'm not ready yet. No, I'm not ready yet. I forgot to. All right, here we go. Did I not hit the button? I didn't hit the button. Why is there no audio?
Because it's going to surprise you with a Liberty Mutual ad.
No, you know why? Because I had to reset everything.
Oh, because you got home.
The connection. Yeah, I had to reset everything. So the connection. Hold on.
Oh.
Oh, man. Bluetooth. Your Roadcaster is now discoverable. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. connect the Bluetooth. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted to do. Please join the Patreon because Bill's an idiot. Jesus.
The more money you
Rodecaster
give,
Pro.
the more relaxed Bill can be to figure out how to run a show he's been doing for 14 years.
No, this one is entirely on me because I had to reset everything.
No, that's fair.
All right,
that's
let's
fair. Every
try-
time
let's
you
try
take
that
stuff
again.
apart, it's always messed up.
Is it working?
And
this time?
that's just fact. That's not a condemnation.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Can we not do this?
I want to meet them. Come on.
Nick, it's so good to see you. Full house this year.
Well, maybe this year we can have a proper family Christmas like we used to.
This country used to be great till all them Johnny Ahmeds and Bobby Bongo started coming in.
Mr. Milgram, that's not fair.
You come in here with your
Kate, I'm
tumults
warning
and
you,
your
don't
bloody-
shout at my girlfriend. Here's what we do. We'll get up really early before they do, and we'll just go home. Someone's locked us in.
What do you want about?
They're all the same. Who would lock us in?
Hello!
Could it be a reality show? Some sort of awful game?
Ding dong merrily on high, in heaven the bells are ringing. Ding dong merrily the sky is written with angels singing.
I'm your son!
Valor in its justice.
Alrighty, await further. No, stop. Now I can't get it. Come on. Await further instructions. 2018 British film. I had seen this before.
Okay.
I know you had seen it before too. But I watched it around. I think a little. You had suggested it to me a little while after it was released. So
Yeah.
I watched it probably a couple years ago at least. What about you?
Yeah, I haven't watched it again because of how it made me feel
Right.
until last night. And only reason with last night is because I had way more time, and I'm like, all right, we're not recording till the next day, so I can do it now and be relaxed. So it's been a while, and I forgot a lot of the things in here that creepily are things that may or may not have happened in the real world.
Yeah, it's interesting looking at the release of this film. It was made in 2017, released in 2018.
Yeah.
And it's a British-made film too, so it's not American. Directed by Johnny Kevorkian. I don't know whether that's his real name or not, but kind of weird. And I believe this was his. It wasn't his directorial debut. He had done a bunch of stuff, but he took like 10 years off between directing films.
Oh,
So
okay.
this was 2018, and the last thing he did before this was a film called The Disappeared in 2008.
That sounds familiar.
Which, yeah, it sounds familiar. I can't.
Let me see who's in that.
According to this, says IFC Films had released it. Oh no, did we cover this?
It's
We
possible.
did. We covered this.
Yeah. Okay. That's
did-
why it's
I think we-
familiar.
I think
Yeah, we
covered
probably
it.
did, or we've talked about it at least.
Following the disappearance of his younger brother Tom, Matthew Ryan tries to put his life and sanity back together. However, the past keeps coming to haunt him. Oh no! You know what? No, I don't know. We didn't cover this.
Oh, okay.
It's very reminiscent of another. What was that Irish movie we did with the Wendigo stuff going on, like last year?
yeah.
In the you remember the one I'm talking about though?
Yeah, I have a pretty good idea, but I can't call it up.
All right, it looked
I
like
don't-
that. I think it might
Yeah.
be the same lead actor.
Well, plus the cross with the images in it too. That's been like Resident Evil
Been done.
posters and stuff.
Well, in
so-
2008, that was every horror movie poster.
it was, yeah. Well,
Sorry.
depending on the movie, vampires, the cross part would be up higher. Devil, it's down lower. First Aid, it's right in the middle.
Yes.
What's going on?
Well, Dave's in the chat room, and I was catching up with him, and he was just talking about how all the movies they all sort of start to like just blend together after a while.
Yeah.
Brother, you have no idea.
Yeah, that's why stuff really has to stick out one way or the other.
At this point, for sure. Anyway, await further instructions, starring Sam Gittins, Neeraj Nayak, Abigail Crutton, David Bradley, and Grant Masters. This is definitely a film that is even more poignant now, especially for a film watcher in the U.S. Why don't you kind of give us a run through, then give us the synopsis, and I'll jump in since this was your pick.
All right, so we have text in the beginning. It's one sentence. It just says, it's the things you love that kill you. And if you've never watched this before, your own personal experience will fill in those blanks. You know, is it alcohol, drugs, cookies, fucking chocolate, something, too much of anything, right?
Did you say chocolate?
I did. Oh.
Don't mind if I do.
Okay. So we have Nick, who is going with Angie, who is Indian, which that actually matters in this script.
It's actually quite important.
Yeah.
Quite important.
They're going to visit their parents, Nick's parents, for Christmas. So everybody's there. Fucking Filch got time off from Hogwarts to be there. And the pregnant Geordie girl is there. And the blue-collar worker dude. And the really physically intimidating father. Right? That guy looked strong when he had to.
For a guy like in his mid-50s, I'd say so, yeah.
He was very physical as the well, even from the beginning he was physically intimidating. So
it was his demeanor. It wasn't so much he was like a big guy.
That's
his
true.
Demeanor and the way he carried himself, and that's a big part of the character.
Yeah, because he reminds me a lot of Jason Isaacs, but Jason Isaacs in his roles, I'm not saying anything about personal life for these people, but this guy in Await Further Instructions, he's more animalistic. He's more of a physical problem solver. Jason Isaacs, who you could kind of see, they could be like two halves of a coin, two sides of a coin. Isaacs would be more of a cunning, intelligent kind of problem solver. So it was kind of disconcerting, the violence in the beginning of this. So
for sure,
during dinner, they have conversations. The grandpa's super racist, he said, with his Johnny Bongos and whatever fake racist stuff he was making up, because I don't think that guy's a bad guy, because he was really funny in Hot Fuzz. And there's general tension in the family, as there always is. And you could think on the surface this movie is just gonna explore family tension, like in The Ref or The Thing or something like that. But it's really The Thing is about paranoia about people you don't really know, that you're not sure if you can trust because of who they are. In this, it's the people you know who have turned themselves.
Right.
Because you get it.
But also, I was just going to say, they also set up that there is definitely an underlying sense of this family is super dysfunctional.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Like the father's a complete asshole. The mother's a pushover. The sister's a bitch.
Yep. Yep. And
basically
the brother-in-law, if I remember this correctly, because the family ties were a little tenuous, but then toward the end you realize they had a son and daughter. So the son is with the Indian woman, and the daughter was with the blue-collar worker guy, who ends up. Yeah, anyway, so there's a message on the screen that says stay indoors and await further instructions.
Well, you're kind of skipping ahead.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, this is important, though.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So, as you said, it's Christmas. The son and the girlfriend come home and immediately are thrown into this, like, arguments with the family. The sister, who is very pregnant, is racist because the father and the grandfather and all of the family, not so much the mother, But they all kind of had those classic racisms.
Yes. And really, seems like the racism is based solely on people that have emigrated to England. Correct. Not necessarily anybody else, like tourists visiting or whatever, but it's people that have lived there. Yeah. Right. It's weird.
And they very much set that tone of the father is the head of the family. What he says goes. He's in control. Like, you listen to him. They all listen to him except for the son. And he's the problem. And they talk about how, like, he doesn't come home and he doesn't visit. And it is very early on during the dinner scene, we see why he doesn't come home. Because they're all assholes. They're like, the mother is trying her best, but she won't speak up.
Yeah.
The sister just goes along with whatever, and very much is like, anytime the brother gives her a hard time, immediately goes to daddy and is like, hey,
children.
or like yes. So they have a big falling out at dinner. The grandfather says a bunch of racist stuff. They're basically like, he's like, you need to apologize to my girlfriend, and the grandfather doesn't say anything.
No.
So
he says what he does say is, see mine. What? He said, see mine. It's inert. Boom.
Right. So they have this big blow up at dinner. They go upstairs. He tells the girlfriend, he's like, hey, listen, we're going to go home. Yep. And she very much wanted to meet the family, and he was like, I don't think you want to.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I want to meet your family. And then she's like, oh, okay, I get it. So he's like, listen, we'll get up before everybody in the morning.
Yeah.
We'll get a few hours sleep. We'll get up early. And we'll go home.
Right,
we'll sneak out in the morning. We'll go home. And she's like, okay. But when they get up in the morning, that's where things change.
That's right. I skipped right to the it got weird part.
Yes.
Because all that family shit makes me so uncomfortable.
Oh, for sure. And this is a really well done portrait of a dysfunctional British family.
Yeah, it's almost like whoever wrote this maybe experienced it. Written by Gavin Williams. So, what's the email address for the show so Gavin can write it and say, yeah, it was kind of based on a couple of shitty Christmases.
Every Christmas?
Yeah. So they wake up and the whole house is covered with what? Corrugated plastic, something. They're not really
metal
sure.
Something.
Huh?
It looks like metal sheeting is surrounding the house.
Yeah.
But you only see it from the inside, so you only see they open the door, they open the windows.
Yep. And that's when the TV says, in green letters, stay indoors and await further instructions. And this is where it starts to draw parallels to the real world. And then unintended parallels to the real world.
Yes.
Because the father then says they should all eat Christmas dinner. Because, keep calm and carry on. Don't question what's happening. I would have a million questions if my windows were blocked off and I didn't do it.
Right.
But it's complacency and trusting the government, which is what I would assume he thinks this message is coming from initially.
Right.
To just
and at first,
do what you're told, yeah.
Yeah, and at first, I understand that.
Yeah.
Okay, everything's locked down. Await further instructions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no internet. The phones aren't working. Okay,
right.
So yeah, I guess we will await further instructions because that's normally how, emergency services will try to do their best to communicate.
Yeah, and there's not much
first.
they can do otherwise. Mm-hmm. So they kind of have to. But right before they eat, it says all your food is contaminated. Eat nothing. So as a viewer, I mean, this is the second time we're obviously skeptical of what's going on.
As a viewer. But if you put yourself into their mindset.
Yes.
Okay.
It's reasonable. The house is being enclosed and no communication. Still a red flag.
Correct.
And so is the weird lighting all of a sudden.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. What was the deal with that?
It was representing the light of the TV, right? That's the lighting they went with because of how much of a presence TV has in people's lives. Entertainment does. And that's coloring their view of the world. Oh, where's my film degree? So,
it's at Kyle's house.
Oh, that's fair. So they throw all their food away, and then like, here's the third or fourth red flag. Decontaminate yourselves. Strip and scrub all flesh with household bleach. Now, if this was Canada, I could understand that Cronenberg's writing these warnings because of the use of the word flesh.
Yes.
Scrub your body from head to toe is kind of how it is. You know, make sure you hit all your parts. But household bleach. When this movie was made, I want to point out that using household bleach as a medical preventative was a fucking joke. It was supposed to show that these people were so far into believing whatever the television is going to tell them that they would rub themselves down with this really terrible chemical for your body.
Right.
And Grandpa goes at his ballsack with fucking vigor. Oh my God, the scratching noises of the loofah or whatever they were using in the armpits and everything. Like, I know if that was real bleach, that would have hurt. That would have
burned. It would have burned like a motherfucker.
Right, but they did it. And there's idiots out there that drank bleach. So now this movie's 10 times scarier. Because we've seen that we will get to step 4 in an alien invasion or a demonic upheaval or whatever. Right?
Right. So as I'm watching it and I'm trying to, this is not the second time I've viewed this movie, being like, okay, you know, if I'm in this situation, at what point am I questioning what's going on? And the scrubbing yourself with household bleach is the point where I'm like, hang on a second.
That's a flip a coin for you. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So no, it's not a flip a coin, because if you think about it, logically, if you're infected and your skin is infected or something like is already in the house, scrubbing yourself down and disinfecting yourself with bleach will get it off you for the time being. But if it's already a some type of carcinogen or whatever, it's in the house already.
Yes. Let's not forget to the leaps of logic the father takes throughout this whole thing. Like, he just instantly assumes this is coming from an authority higher than him. And he generally listens to the grandfather. The grandfather is kind of like he's like the Baron Harkonnen. Everybody makes plans in front of him, and then Baron's listening. He's like, no. Change that part, because he burps because he's fat.
Yep.
I burp because anyway. So
not important details.
So that's the infuriating part of this, is the blind allegiance to an unknown master, and it's terrifying the lengths this father will go to. Obviously, you can tell he's a company man. He's wearing his suit, shirt, and pants, all buttoned up, ready to go. Right? He's still looking fancy.
And I think so at this point, like the son and the girlfriend, who is a registered nurse and like works like in the medical field and has an understanding of all these things.
Angie, the Indian.
Angie, yes.
Because there's
she's
two,
very much like, I don't know. And as soon as her and the son question anything, they're immediately like ostracized.
Yeah, I have no idea what that was completely foreign to me as a viewer. I have to wait. No, I didn't like that part either.
No. But it's like an immediate, and it's like, why would you question father? Like, what he knows, he's here because they immediately, the father's in control. Anything he says goes. No matter how ridiculous.
The most interesting part of this, I feel, at this point in the conversation, is that he takes control and he knows what's going on and he knows what to do. But it's like they all started watching a movie at the same time. this whole thing started, they all have the same amount of experience and understanding of what's going on, but he knows more because he's the white male, right? I mean, that's really what it is. I'm the man.
mean, there's three
I'm
white.
smarter.
There's 3 white males here.
Yeah,
and they each play a very specific character. The son is the smart, forward-thinking, question things.
Yep.
The son-in-law is looking for approval and will do anything that the father says because he wants to be in the good graces of the father. And the father's the control freak who has to run and control everything, but is actually a puppet that's being manipulated by somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah. And also who has been manipulated by his own father. Yeah, it's great.
So things get to the point where it's like, now this is you're insane for continuing to listen.
Yes.
When they somehow, I don't even remember exactly how it was, but like they managed to get them through one of the hole. Like there's these like pipes in these different holes in the housing, and they get them these syringes filled with something.
That's the fucked up part. They drop them down the chimney.
Oh yeah.
And it says, use trial vaccinations, atmosphere contaminated. It's a Ziploc bag with syringes in them with a clear liquid.
No
That's where I'm tapping
explanation.
out. I might, after having lived through 9/11 with anthrax and plastic sheeting and duct tape and stuff, maybe I would go for the bleach depending on how worried I am. But I'm not dumb enough to inject something that's dropped down my fucking chimney.
And the father immediately just tells everyone they have to do it
Because he...
without questioning anything.
The sad part of it is he's really thinking about what's in their best interest, but he's not thinking clearly about what's the safest thing for their best interest.
Right. The idea that, like, and obviously living in the world we live in now, vaccines are very much something that are a part of our everyday life now. I mean, they were always a part of our everyday life, but they're like,
Yeah.
new vaccines, putting it that way.
Right.
And, even with the COVID-19 vaccine, and there's obviously a lot of questions that people have about it, and a lot of people still won't take it because they're not sure. And they're like, the science is there to back it up.
Yeah.
With this, there's no explanation of nothing at all other than, hey, it's a trial vaccination, you're going to have to take it.
Yeah, it could be filled could be filled with hydrochloric acid.
Or anything. It could be filled literally with anything.
Yeah.
And, like, there's no idea. And, like, the girlfriend is very much like, hey, as a medical professional, we don't know anything about what's in these syringes.
Yeah.
We don't know, allergies. We don't know anything about this at all.
Legitimate
this is probably
things.
pretty stupid.
Yeah. And I know
common things.
I know this sounds like us going in the reverse of when we said, hey, I got vaccinated. It's fucking awesome. It's great. Our vaccinations weren't surprised dropped down a fucking chimney by some other
in
intelligence.
A Ziploc bag.
It's a little different. So don't try to be funny with us. We know what's going on. So the father takes the shot right away. And then
no question, doesn't even clean the syringe.
No,
he just takes it and shoots it into his arm.
And nobody told him he had to shoot it into a vein either. Like, dude, that's an intramuscular syringe you got there, like leg or butt. Like that's a long needle. That's meant to pierce through and sit deep inside tissue. Come on. And then the son-in-law getting his shot, whining like a newborn pig.
Yeah.
Dude, he stuck it a quarter of an inch in your arm. Like, even if you were an actor and he stuck that in your arm, like, come on. But that's to show that when push comes to shove his wife off of a ledge, that he's really a coward.
Yeah.
So
anything for approval.
Then we get return all clinical apparatus via the access slot because the reasonable people are forced to do it.
Yep.
Did they actually do the shot?
I think they did, yeah. I think they did.
Because I would have been really interested to see if one of them didn't. would that make them less susceptible or more? Anyway.
I don't know.
So Scott, the dumb brother-in-law, also via the access slot is not the chimney or the mail slot on the front door. The what looked like cables and wires part in a suggestive
vaginal styled opening.
Yes, because I mean, obviously, if it's running in front of a window, it's going to open. How else is it going to open except in a, I don't know what shape that is. It's like a pointed oval, right?
It's almost diamond. It's almost diamond.
Almost, yeah, but yeah. So it's definitely supposed to look reproductive.
Yes.
So Scott tries to pry it open, and he calls for help, and then we get the flashing access slot contamination, and it closes, and he loses 3 of his fingers. Idiot.
Brutal.
Yeah. Yeah, now that's the first time where you realize, oh, shit, this isn't the government. Like, for real, this isn't the government.
We now have proof that it's not the government.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we'll go through the rest of the warnings here, because that'll move this along quick. Then we get one of your numbers is infected. Isolate them. Oh, this is after Grandpa Filch convulses and dies.
Right.
He spits up some black liquid and he dies. And he was not the first one or the second one to take the shot. So they think it might have been age. They think maybe an allergy. But they're guessing. They're totally guessing. So they have no idea.
They're doing whatever they need to do to justify.
Yeah. Rationalizing to stay calm. It makes sense. But it's weird to watch it from the outside and see these people make such ludicrous jumps in logic. But in their place, I mean, what are you going to do? You don't know what this is. World's turned upside down. So one of your numbers infected. Isolate them. Guess who they isolate? Yeah, the Indian woman. You got it.
I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anyone was questioning that.
They said
and they isolate her.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason.
No,
there's no reason for them to. You were going to say it. Say what the reason why.
Oh, they thought that she brought a disease back from India.
No.
That was one reason. What's the other reason?
She works at the hospital, so she must have picked something up working at the hospital.
Yeah.
Not the fact that the hospital is like the safest place for transmission for anything.
Well, I mean, they're obviously going to be protected more than a normal person in the ER or anywhere in the hospital,
which is where she works. She's an ER. She's an ER nurse.
So Angie and Nick talk for a little bit, and Nick decides he's going to unplug the TV, and that leads to imagine if you're 4 years old and you change the channel on Brady's first Hail Mary pass. What was it, 2002? You changed the channel in the last 3 seconds over to Blue's Clues, and your dad's had a few too many to drink. How do you think that's going to go off if you lived in this family?
Not well.
No, not at all. Because the father freaks out because he sees the TV as his only lifeline to what's going on outside, never thinking that someone's interrupted the signal, maybe.
Right. I mean, it's his only lifeline, but he's not really actually getting anything out.
No, and somebody's already dead.
Yeah, right.
Then we get when it's plugged back in. There's some Arabic. There's some symbols. There's some occult stuff. There's all different kinds of things. None of them mean anything altogether, but it's just it's like a random sampling of symbols from the internet. A little bit of Silent Hill, a little bit of whatever. Yeah. And then we get
this, a little bit.
Yeah, warning: interrupting emergency signal puts lives at risk.
So at this point, they've realized that the TV is watching them.
Yeah,
like they're being studied.
Right.
But the father refuses to do anything. So the son is able to pry open a little tiny piece and put his phone through a pipe to get a look at what's going on outside. We only get a very, very brief glimpse of it, and it doesn't even matter. But so the TV is like, hey, someone is breached or whatever.
Yep.
Do what you need to do, whatever, and find out. So they grab the son. You know, the father won't watch the video on the phone. The son's like, listen, like, you need to look at the phone. This is not what you think it is.
Right.
So they tie him up. The father's gonna kill him trying to extract information from him.
Yeah, and the TV's telling them to do this because we skipped over the problem with Kate. Kate says that Scott needs to take control of the situation. Him and Nick fight. Kate gets knocked over the railing and breaks her leg. And that's a whole 15-minute thing right there. Meanwhile, with that group, it's very telling, too. The husband his sanity kind of fractures a little bit more and he wants to run away. And the father literally just walks away. It's his daughter. And he just walks away.
She's like 2 weeks shy of her due date.
Yeah.
Very pregnant.
Fell flat on her back.
Fell flat on her back. Breaks her leg. Compound fracture with the bone through it.
Yeah.
And the father goes, I'm gonna go down to the study and do some research.
Yep, and
then just dips out.
Yeah, and that's when Scott sees "I see you" flash across the screen for a second, and it kind of freaks him out, and he starts to kind of go over to his brother's side a little bit.
Momentarily.
Yeah, then we get that danger exfiltration in progress. Survivors must not breach perimeter, which is starting to sound more and more authoritarian, which is real creepy. We get the video from the phone, and is it before the torture scene? Extract information from the sleeper agent that Angie shows him what's inside, or that she saw something inside the TV.
She sees something inside the TV while all that's going on.
Okay.
She finds an old TV while she's locked in the other bedroom.
Right.
She takes apart another TV, opens it up, and finds the wires and like a heartbeat and like all this crazy shit. The third act of this movie gets pretty fucking crazy.
It does.
And honestly, for me, it falls apart.
Yeah, I didn't see where else it could go. I think it played on the paranoia and the willingness to want to do the right thing without thinking. I think that was all really good. But then in the end, it turns around and slaps you in the face with a, I'm a TV and I'm still your messiah, so fucking sit down and watch me. It reminds me a lot, the whole thing reminds me a lot of the story you hear about the Shoggoths and the Elder Things, where the Elder Things created the Shoggoths to do the work for them. And then over time, they gained intelligence and said, nah, fuck these guys, and then killed them all because they were smarter.
Yeah. So I don't think we need to go through the end.
No, I think that's best.
But we'll just say that it gets, spiritual / metaphysical, and I'll say this: the effects are great.
Yeah.
It looks really cool. But for me, the final act of this movie, it falls apart. It falls apart pretty hard.
See, I don't think it's actual religion or gods or whatever.
Oh, I don't think it is either. I think it's alien.
Oh, see, I thought it. Yeah. More likely than not, it's alien. And through watching TV, I mean, maybe that is how they think they can take over the race. But the father is so willing to believe, because they use salvation, reborn, resurrection terms, which could mean anything, right? But he takes it as, there's a cross over my TV, so clearly this is a message from my God. I'm right. Are you, though? Are you?
So film is dark in the way it looks. It's shot very dark with very specific lighting to, give you that TV look. But it's not so dark that you can't see.
Right.
It's well written. It's well acted.
Yes.
The story is the only thing I think for me that kind of falls apart there at the end. But I mean, overall, it's a very well made film on what I would say is probably a pretty low budget.
Yes, and it only made $3,600 in the box office, probably because it played a couple of festivals theater or something. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, at this point, then I think Chris, do you recommend, and what is your grade for Await Further Instructions?
I am going to recommend this. I may not actually recommend every movie this month because I don't know what I'm picking next. So, just to get that out of the way, I may, I definitely recommend this. I think it's very interesting what they're saying in the first 2 acts, and then I mean you gotta resolve it somehow. So I was fine with that because I think the first 2/3 of it is a very strong statement about sometimes stepping back and saying, why are we doing this? And it's really good. I'm not going to say it's better with the interpersonal conflict than The Thing, because The Thing was a bunch of people that weren't related, that didn't have a lifelong history with each other, but these people do, which makes it's more, there's more animosity, and you see that every character resents someone else for some reason, and
right,
and those are the paranoias and the issues and the anger that they built up between themselves with no reason to hate each other. In The Thing, at least, it's like, oh, I could die. But before this movie starts, this family was just a bunch of dicks, and it's a little tough to watch at times. But I think this family really worked well together on screen. They did a great job, and I'm gonna give it. I'm fluctuating between an A- and a B+. Obviously, because I'm gonna pick first 2 movies I'm gonna really like. So I'll go with a B+.
Cool. I'm recommending it also. I do think the end of it gets a little too crazy for its own good, and I think that there could have been a way for them to kind of rein it in, keep it a little bit more questionable in what was going on, while also making it less confusing. But it doesn't ruin the movie. It's not so crazy and so out there that it takes away from what comes before.
Right.
And I would say the first hour of this movie, very, very solid.
Yeah. And the good thing
Very
is,
solid.
though,
As I said,
the way it flows from normal to crazy feels like at least a decent, angle upward fight kind of thing. It doesn't jump from 6 to 50, in a second.
Right. Well shot, well written, well acted, well directed. Definitely, in terms of indie horror gems, it's got a place.
Yeah,
it's got a place. Whether it's going to end up being a cult favorite, I don't know about that.
Right.
But I will give it. You gave it a B+.
Yeah.
I'm not going that high.
I know.
B-. B-.
Okay.
It's not a film that I probably would have revisited because it made me so uncomfortable, and I knew when you said it, I'm like, all right, so this is going to hit differently than it did when I first watched it.
Yeah, see, I picked
it pretty hard
because
when I first watched it.
I didn't think you had seen it yet, so.
I did, yeah.
That's all right.
I don't remember. I hadn't remembered watching it, but as soon as I looked at the title, I was like, "Oh yeah, okay."
All right.
I don't always listen to your recommendations, but occasionally I do.
I'm not always so bad. I don't just pull up the demon furies that you do. So what?
Yep. Demon broke wind.
Yeah.
So next we have a 2014 John and Drew Dowell film.
Yes.
As Above, So Below, found footage horror. Let's take a listen to the trailer.
My name is Scarlett Marlowe, and I'm a student in urban archaeology.
370 feet beneath this point is a hidden chamber
that might contain a critical missing piece of our history.
How are we supposed to get down there?
Catacombs. There are 200 miles of tunnels right underneath our feet.
They're holding the remains of 6 million corpses.
Stop. This is the Empire of the Dead.
These are human bones. We go through here?
Let's do it.
Keep slow and steady, yeah?
I think I'm stuck.
Just breathe with me, please. It's okay.
What was that?
Is everyone okay?
I think I am. What the hell do we do now, huh?
We can't go back. We should just keep moving. Tell me we didn't just go in a circle.
It's exactly the same.
No, everything's upside down.
What happened to the entrance?
Wait, there's something here.
Oh my god.
What the hell is this?
When I was a kid, we had a piano that looked exactly like this. I used to play it all the time. The A4 key was messed up.
What's going on? Can you read that?
According to mythology, that's the inscription over the gates of hell.
And they shall be made to crawl on their bellies to enter the kingdom of darkness.
Did you hear that?
Is somebody there?
What's happening to us?
Dad?
It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault!
All right, As Above, So Below, 2014, the Dowell brothers, directed by Eric Dowell, and written by John and Drew Dowell, produced by Thomas Tull, starring Perdita Weeks, Ben Feldman, Edwin Hodge, and Francois Civelle. As I kind of thought about it when we were talking about the beginning, this definitely came out at the time where I was like, done with studio found footage flicks. So I don't think I really gave it a fair shake at the time. I remember really not liking it.
Okay.
I'm not going to say up front whether or not I have completely changed my thoughts on this movie. But I got feels about this.
Okay.
So
okay.
I'll let you run with it though, since again this is your pick, my friend.
Okay, so we have Scarlett, who were introduced in the beginning, going to Iran to find something called the Rose Tablet, which is supposed to be like what's that program that helps you speak languages?
Rosetta
That's
Stone.
it. It's like that, but for this other thing that she's looking for. So go down in the tunnels. They're blasting. They're gonna seal the tunnels, and this is her last chance. She finds a wall. It's got writing on it. She busts the wall down, takes pictures of this big bull that's all carved with things. She's found the rose key. She sees a vision of her father hanging dead, and then we go to Paris. No, where is he? Where's what's his name? George. Is he in Paris?
Yeah, they're all in Paris.
But when she meets him.
I think.
Yeah.
I want to say that, she met him there. I mean,
right.
we are introduced to her somewhere, I believe also in France, with the documentary filmmaker.
Right, doing an interview in the beginning.
Doing an interview. I forget his name.
Benji.
Benji. Yep. He's making a documentary about Charlotte. Charlotte is got like 4 PhDs. She speaks 4 languages. She also knows like 2 other dead languages. Mm-hmm. She has a reputation for basically taking chances.
Yes, yeah, but she can back it up with knowledge, which is good. Correct. Because we start off this movie with basically experts, which is always a good thing. Sometimes you get tired of the goofballs stumbling into problems, you know. So George is fixing a clock. He's fixing an old clock tower that hasn't rung in almost 200 years, and all Scarlett wants is all Scarlett wants is to have him come and translate, because he's really good with that. Long story short, because there's a lot of stuff that like just shows how clever these characters are that I don't want to spoil for people. Long story short, he says, I'll help you translate. They go, and once they find out what they have to do, obviously this whole movie takes place from this point on in the catacombs under Paris. The first production company to ever actually get a license to film there.
Yeah, they were the first time. It had to go in front of like the Paris like government, and it's the first time they ever granted a filming permit.
Yeah. Inside the
catacombs.
Now that to me, that's impressive. I've only ever
absolutely
seen one other movie like that. We had a movie at the Museum of Science about what was it called? Jerusalem. That's what it was. Really scientific, by the way. Thanks, making me play that all day. And the company that filmed for that were the first ones to film in the rock that's inside the temple. Like they got some unprecedented access. So I watched it because of that, because it would be places I hadn't seen before. But knowing that these guys got to film down there lends a level of like believability when you watch it. You don't have to.
I think the word you're really looking for is authenticity. It's
there's
believability.
That too.
Yes, also
yes,
but it's authentic. It's not on a set where they recreated. They're in the actual spot with all of the bones and all of the the maze. It's all actually there.
Yeah, because it's one thing going through a haunted house where it's just a vacuum wall of skulls. It's another thing to know 6 million dead people down there.
Mm-hmm. Which is insane to think about, that the city of Paris is built on top of a giant mass grave.
Yeah, that's one of the places I need to see. Like, I don't have that much of a bucket list, but that looks like a fascinating place to go to.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I would love to see
also, so I can run around yelling, Scarlet! Anyway, so they find Papillon and his crew.
Well, let's explain first.
Okay.
So they take a tour, like a public tour.
Oh, that's right.
Seeing if there's a way for them to get to the area they need to get to. So they're able to solve all of these questions. George is able to decipher the key thing that they have and figure out exactly what they need to do. So they take a public tour, hoping that maybe they can sneak away from the tour and find the spot, but it's a very off-limits area, and they can't get in there. But there's a guy hanging out down there that says, hey, listen, if you want to be able to see other parts of the catacombs, Papillon is the guy that you want to talk to.
Yeah. It's funny because the movie, it says in the description here, the epic story of a safecracker from the Parisian underworld.
Yeah, that's not okay.
I like that. But our Papillon, who signs Pap on the wall when he goes down to do a tour or whatever with the people, they entice him with treasure, and this is where we get the final, like, she is deadly serious about finding the Philosopher's Stone, because it wasn't just Harry Potter that had the Philosopher's Stone. It's a real mythical thing. And Pap is like, yeah, okay, sure. But, like, they're serious, and he can see that, and they're all, like, there's no stupidity in the beginning here. Like when people start acting weird and taking at Deborah Logan, they're not like, yeah, no, we're good. She charged at me naked. We're done. No, there's no, it's like Jaws. Okay.
Okay.
If I was in Jaws, right, which takes place in Massachusetts, I would be right here, because I'm not going to get bit by the shark here. I'm not going to get eaten. That's how you avoid it. This is how you avoid going through Dante's Inferno. Don't go into the catacombs and go off the tour. So nothing supernatural needs to happen before they slip through that little grating into the off-limits catacombs areas.
Right. But one of the things that comes across pretty early on is how selfish Scarlet is.
True.
And very much does not care about anybody else's feelings, how they're affected, whether they want to take part in something or not. It doesn't matter to her.
Yeah.
She doesn't care.
But she's not.
She needs to find the Infinity Stone.
She's not mean
regardless.
about it, though. She's encouraging.
No, but that's what makes it even tougher for me as watching this movie to get behind it, because she is very cunning and she's able to dupe George into coming in with them, and she's able to dupe Benji into doing something he doesn't want
Let's
to do.
also point out,
and she doesn't care.
Let's also point out that she has red hair, a British accent, and is beautiful. I would have gone down there,
and she
I would have gone
that
down there
because we know that her and we know that her and George have a past. They have they're former lovers or whatever. We know that, and she uses it, and like that stuff bugs me.
Yeah,
but it's supposed to.
But the thing is, she's not wrong. Like, she's looking at, this is for the greater good. This is for knowledge for mankind. This is for something, right?
Right.
And
oh, for sure. Yeah, all of those reasons are legit.
Yeah, she basically, it's like the same Indiana Jones idea of, this is mine. This needs to go here. I don't care about credit, but like, let's just get the thing we came for. We've done too much.
Right. But the thing for me is putting others in peril when they don't want to be put in peril, and they ask not to be put in peril. That's where
to be fair, I keep wanting to call him Benji, but it's George. George was not going to go down, but he only ducked in so he wouldn't get arrested by the police.
Right.
So she got him to the door, and I think she was going to convince him to go down once they were there, but the police showing up, which I can't imagine anybody would have called him. I can't see Scarlett doing that just to get an extra person down there, you know. But Papillon did say that the police watch all the time. So that's fine. But yeah, it's Scarlett got him there, but the police pushed him. And there's stuff with Dante's Inferno about how Dante actually enters the first layer of hell of limbo, and there's a lot of parallels between the two. But yeah, Scarlett is like what's that? A siren luring George to his death.
Yes.
Okay. So I like this movie so much, I don't want to tell anybody else anymore about it. Because
that's fair.
Because a lot of the things that happen, I find some of them on the second watch, but the first watch, I found that the procession or the progress they make through all these different areas of the catacombs and how they relate to Dante's Inferno and what happens when you get to this point and this point and that, and do they find the stone, and is it the real stone if they actually found it, and was Thanos there? Vision was, and some paintings and stuff, and like they really get a chance to show off that they know what they're doing, and they're driven by just this desire to learn something first. But
I agree with a lot of that. So
yeah,
my issues with this film come into play with a lot of the same issues that I find that I have with a lot of found footage flicks.
Okay,
and it comes to play with equipment and the way things are done. And now, I mean, in the years since I started doing filmmaking and started actually, being a cameraman and shooting things, like I obviously know a lot more now than I did when I first started. But like, so this film basically, Benji is your documentarian. He has a camera. He's carrying what would be like, an HD source camcorder that you would film, not professional TV shows, but like high level. Some professional instances. I think it's like a Sony. It's like a Sony XD. I think is what he's actually using.
I think the first few seasons of Always Sunny used something like that too. Yeah,
a lot. I mean, it's a very common. It's a $5,000. It's $5,000.
I just heard him talking about cameras in the first few seasons and how they hate how it looks.
Yeah. So, they go. But the stuff that's shot above ground looks completely different because it's shot on a red camera. It's shot on, I think, on a red Raptor, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I don't think it's actually here. Film length laboratory. Oh no, shot on a red Epic. It was. Oh, they use it. It's a Sony PXW.
Okay.
PX200.
Well,
so
I could imagine.
No, wait.
Yes.
Wait. There's more to this.
Go ahead.
So they shoot the stuff that's some of the stuff, all the stuff above ground is shot on the Red Epic, which is a $10,000 high level digital camera that is not like a handheld. I mean, it's handheld when you build it out, but like it's not just a camera you pick up.
Right.
You have to put your lens on it. You have to put a monitor on it. You have to put a chassis on it. Like it's not the type of camera that you're just going to pick up and use. It's one of those, like if you look at just the camera, it's just like it's one of those little, it's a little square.
Yeah.
Is what the camera is. So you have to add all those things to it. So you're not bringing that down into the catacombs.
Right. That was my point. Yeah.
But a chunk of this movie is shot on that camera in the catacombs. The Sony camera, I'm not nearly is my problem isn't nearly with that because that is a handheld camcorder that you're going to bring down there. But the expectation that is set is that they're putting on these headlamps that also have cameras in them. But those headlamps don't actually have cameras in them. There's no GoPro attached to them. There's no action camera. But the footage that we're led to believe is being shot by those helmet cams is red digital footage.
Okay.
And then also, as the film goes on, characters die, and we don't know what the like. It's presented more as just you're watching it as a narrative. You're not watching necessarily a film that was made after the fact.
Right.
But like characters die and their footage is not recovered. But yet we see that footage.
That's actually interesting to go back and see of the at least one character survives. I'm not giving anything away there. But I do wonder characters that make it to a certain point, and I think you know what I'm talking about because I'm being very nonspecific. Is that the only the only view we get? Like say Papillon, Susie, and La Taupe survive, right? And they all had cameras. Are we only seeing footage from the camera that Benji was carrying that could be easily taken, right? Because a camera can fall and break. You can take the tape. That's easy, right? But are we seeing footage from those three characters' point of view in any of the movie? I don't know. I did not pay enough attention to that.
We were getting headlamp footage from all of those characters. I paid attention to it. But my problem comes in the fact that you're not taking a Red Epic down underground like that and using that to shoot those scenes. You're not. You're not. So like that idea for someone that has somewhat of and not that I know everything, because I don't even know a fraction of the stuff, but like I have enough of an understanding that like that's not believable.
Okay, now counterpoint. Okay, who gives a shit?
You're not wrong. You are not wrong. You are not wrong.
No, I totally get it. I do. Anytime I see a projection booth, I'm like, all right, let's see how they fuck this up.
I was going to say, whenever we watch a movie, and you've mentioned it many times over the years, he threaded that print backwards.
I know, but it didn't
what does it matter?
It didn't affect my enjoyment of the movie. I hope that didn't affect your enjoyment of it. I definitely get your Frankenstein's Army thing, and that's where I draw the line. Make it era appropriate. Right? At least make it look.
All of the stuff that they use in this film was available at the time. So it's not like they shot and they weren't presenting it like it was 1910 and they were shooting on like a Blackmagic or like some like camera that's not invented for 40 years. But there are points where I'm watching it and I'm like, I know that this can't be done this way because if you're shooting on this type of camera, you can't set a scene like this. Like, and also the idea that like you can see everything on a camera like that without lighting and stuff is like it's just like the projection thing for you, whereas like you did that for so long and you know the ins and outs of how to thread a projector and how to run the film. I watched someone, and I'm like, you can't do that.
Right. But it did look really nice. It was all sodium arc lights. It was real yellow. It looked great.
Yeah. No, it did absolutely. This movie looks in terms of found footage films, there probably isn't one that I can think of that looks better.
I'm trying to think. I mean, Creep looks pretty good, but that's
Creep looks
but
pretty
that's
good.
like in one house, so it's very easy to control those conditions.
Yep. And also the explanation in terms of what he's shooting and how he's shooting and what he's shooting with fits the bill.
Well, that's the interesting thing is a lot of found footage stuff doesn't have a quote unquote like set that you're because in this one they're working on a set, like they can scout locations, just turn a corner, you could be 100 meters away from where you just were, like what they used to do with Star Trek, just take two hallway things and turn them, and there we got a new hallway in the Enterprise.
Right. So I mean, but with the camera stuff, I mean, it's stuff that you could have very easily, like at the beginning, you just give everybody a camera.
Yeah.
And everyone has the same camera. There's 5 of them or whatever. 4 of them are carrying cameras with lights on them. And then, the headlamps go out and we're using the lights from the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like little things that can be explained. In a movie that, cost like $5 or $6 million or whatever it was to make. And I know I'm surprised they didn't make a sequel to this actually, because I want to say it only had like a $5 million budget and like opening weekend did like $50 million or something.
Well, I'm glad they didn't, because this really works really well as a one and done.
Oh, I'm not saying that I wanted a sequel. I'm just saying I'm surprised they didn't.
Yeah, because I mean, the only thing you could do with this is just have another set of people go through the circles of hell, and then you already know what's going to happen.
Maybe they find the footage and the leftovers from before. Who knows?
Okay.
Who knows? But overall, it did not completely hinder my enjoyment.
You are very reluctantly saying you had a good time.
Yes.
I love the idea of this being built around Dante's Inferno because it's familiar, yet in a modern era they can do a lot of interesting things with it and kind of disguise some stuff, which I really liked. The whole idea of like the idea of hell being a kingdom of darkness, like they say in the trailer. And then you see a figure at one point sitting in a high back chair in a circular room, it looks like, maybe, with a couple of pillars, nothing else. But there's no light until they show up. This person, this thing, like, because you see one of them walking later on, or before that, I don't remember. Like, is that the devil? I don't know, but he's fucking creepy, and he doesn't do anything.
Yeah, no, there's some cool, like, and I love the connections to the Knights of the Templar.
Yep.
Because that's history that, like, I'm fascinated by.
There's enough.
That's why I like those Tombs of the Blind Dead movies so much.
There's enough atmosphere in this movie to terraform Mars.
Maybe, I don't know. Sure. All right. Why don't we grade it so we don't ruin it?
Yeah.
All right, Chris. As above, so below. Do you recommend? Spoiler alert. And what is your?
Yeah, obviously, I'm going to recommend this. If I come on saying it's, as of right now, my favorite found footage movie. But even if this was just a straight narrative, I still would have enjoyed the story. All that would have mattered is you just see more characters at a time. But I'm thinking they did this found footage because you can't fit a camera crew in there. So it's better, like, you guys go down that hallway and then yell at each other for a little bit and then come on back and we'll do it one more time for safety. It's that kind of thing.
Right.
I don't know what my point was, but yeah, I'm obviously, yeah. And
yeah.
It's the way it's steeped in the story and the basis, the religion that I was taught when I grew up, whether or not it doesn't matter what I do now. But that's like rich for turning into horror movies and sci-fi stuff like we had with the other one we just did. It's a great playground, and I love that they take different elements of religion and Dante's Inferno and throw it all together, because Dante's Inferno obviously isn't a Bible story.
I thought it was the second half.
It is. Shh. Don't tell anybody. But this is just. I like that they know a lot. They have learned a lot before they went in. And then they learned even more about themselves if they get to leave. It's just really well thought out. Really well thought out. And then they get to a certain point and they can't go back. So you have to keep going forward. This movie definitely has this is why they keep filming. This is why they keep going. That checks the 2 boxes for me. And I really like watching Scarlett. She's a lot of fun. I like to see her in more stuff. I'm going to give this an A-.
A-.
I've watched this movie, not counting for the show this week. I've watched this movie twice this year already.
I mean, I've only watched it twice ever. Because I didn't like it when I first watched it. And I'm a firm believer, like I said earlier, it was because I was being inundated with studio-made found footage.
Yeah, and I was looking up, there was a lot of stuff that year. We had, what was it, VHS Viral, I think was that year. And that would yeah.
A lot. I mean, and then we had seen, Quarantine had been made, and, obviously all the Paranormal Activities. So I had it at that point. And I remember the other Catacombs found footage flick too, which I had seen before. I think it was just called Catacombs. Actually, I don't even know. I don't remember if that was found footage or not. Actually, I think Pink was in that.
Who was?
The music.
Really?
Mission Pink.
Well, why don't I know about this?
Look it up.
I will look it up.
I don't know. Look it up. I think it's called Catacombs. But it wasn't filmed in the Catacombs. I think they used an entrance or something,
okay,
but they didn't film inside the Catacombs. Anyway, so I did not like this upon that first viewing, and part of it was because of the things that were, the other movies around, and unfortunately, I think we were just all kind of burnt out on found footage. Now, 2022, obviously, we cover a lot of it on the show, and I'll watch almost anything now that's a found footage flick because usually they're short. Most found footage flicks run maybe 90 minutes.
That's true.
So they're easy to take in. And now revisiting this, I definitely enjoyed it more. I definitely was able to dig more into the story. I do love the use of the Dante's Inferno. That scene, there's a scene where you see a Templar Knight laid out that just looks amazing with the way that they light it and the way that they film it. It looks great. I like the Dowds. They've done some really good stuff. Obviously, if you're going to rank this against the Poughkeepsie Tapes, I think the Poughkeepsie Tapes is a better movie than this.
It's a tighter. It's a different story, but they do come up with some brilliant ideas. Their writing is
they're
really
creative.
Good.
They make the most. They make the most out of what they have. And the fact that they wrote the story also for this, I think they were able to really spread their wings in terms of like using the history and using the story behind it. And I think that's really good. And I think the acting in it is quite good. The main actress, like she does a great job, but I just don't like the character. And she came across too selfish to me in terms of putting her friends and then also these people that were willing to help her, putting them in danger. And like there's like this point where in the movie where they just keep moving further and further underground, but they keep talking about how they need to get out of there, and nobody like stops at any point to be like, hey, does anyone think it's weird that we keep going further and further down?
Oh, no, they definitely do. Pap definitely has an issue with that.
But like, I didn't feel like they really were like, she was like, no, we can't stop now. And okay.
To be fair, I think once the door closed behind them in that room with the Templar, like the wall just closed up magically. I think they were like,
where'd the door go?
At that point, I mean, we're talking about red flags, right? Fuck it. I guess we got to keep going because we can't go back.
You're not wrong. So I will give this. I'm going to give this a B- also.
All right.
I've seen a lot of found footage flicks. We found a new high mark for us, or a new high mark for me at least for found footage flicks with Long Pigs last year. That kind of set a new mark. This isn't as good as that, I don't think, but it's definitely better than I gave it credit for upon the first time I watched it.
For a studio film, good job.
For a found footage film in general, I think. Yeah, I think it's. And the fact that it only cost them like $5 million and then it made like almost $50.
That's true.
Is a good turnaround.
It's a nice companion one to this that I don't think gets enough
Catacombs, starring.
No, I'm going to watch that tonight. No, and another one from Australia called The Tunnel.
Oh, I love
Isn't
The
that
Tunnel.
great?
That was the Kickstarter. That wasn't that the Kickstarter movie that like one of the first Kickstarter movies.
I don't know, but that creature in the water fucking sends shivers down my spine every time I see it. It is the epitome of just fucking creepiness.
I need to revisit that. I haven't watched that since
That's another.
released.
That's if I had to do a top 5, I would probably put the 2 we talked about: Poughkeepsie Tapes, this one, The Tunnel, probably Long Pigs, and then I don't know. The 5th one would be a varying position.
Well, we do top 6s normally. So,
well, I know, but I wasn't talking about the show.
In no
I meant me
for me
personally.
Yeah, for no particular order for me. Poughkeepsie Tapes, Long Pigs. I still think the original Paranormal Activity is a high benchmark.
It is.
Blair Witch Project, the original Blair Witch Project. What the heck is the name of that movie? The first VHS.
Okay.
And then there's the other one I can't think of.
Okay, so let me ask you this about VHS. Right?
Yeah.
So the dude in Amateur Night puts on those big Buddy Holly glasses. Right?
Yep.
With the camera in it.
Yep.
But that's all right, right? All that was like the same camera through the whole thing, right? Through that.
I don't remember, but I remember. I mean, there's some pretty high quality. Well, actually, it's probably like 10. That's like 10 years ago now.
Oh no, I just meant that one because I don't think that one changes from the center point camera.
Well, I mean, there was HD spy cams and glasses back.
Yeah, that's something
that
I don't
wasn't
know about.
So it wasn't new. I don't remember. I don't remember.
But
that.
it's not a big enough change that it's noticeable if they. Okay.
Right.
I got you. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I realized that they actually, one of the guys at the very end, the one with the haunted house with the witch in it, wears the same kind of glasses as that other dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Or he's he's one of them's.
Oh, Grave Encounters. Grave Encounters.
Shit,
is the
yeah.
other one.
There's that. One of my favorite movies in the found footage.
That's probably my top 6. Probably my top 6 for found footage stuff.
Yeah.
Or cinema verite. I don't think I put Cannibal Holocaust into that.
Yeah. I could see that.
I don't feel like it falls. So, all right. Well, there you go. Those are Chris's first 2 picks for the month of April. We're going to take a listen to Scott's finale for the Leprechaun series.
Wait, Scott?
I'm not Scott. Excuse me.
Okay,
Joe's.
good, because I'm be real confused.
I mean, maybe Lupke will show up.
No.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. But here is Joe closing out the Leprechaun series with Leprechaun Returns, which I've never seen.
Well, hello, Bill. Hello, Chris. And hello, OTC Nation. It's your boy Joe here, and after today, I'm finally free. Bill made me watch the last Leppy movie, Leppy Returns. It's always cute when a franchise makes a whoopsie, and then the next movie is like, so-and-so returns, or this and that, a new chapter, or whatchamacallit, the next generation. Hell, in this case, the mea culpa didn't even come from the people who fucked it up. WWE made the wet shart that was Leppy Origins, and Mark fucking Jones, creator of the Leppy franchise and writer of the first 3 movies, was like, hey, everybody, don't worry, I'm bringing back the OG Leppy. That other Leppy, the one that looked like if one of the creatures from the gate got leprosy, he can't hurt you anymore, because I'm back. What's that? Warwick Davis? Well, I mean, no. I mean, he's not back. But it's me, Mark Jones. You know. And I think I'm the only asshole that thinks that they are at least acknowledging Leppy Origins, because if that Leppy never existed, then this one wouldn't have needed to return. It'd just be like Leppy 17, subtitle. Hope you like the jokes that land about as well as Carl Wallenda did. Too soon. Just a couple of notes up top here. We're back to Lionsgate, which generally bodes well, but it was a made for the Syfy channel. SYFY. Oh, wait, it's
No,
Sci-Fi.
it's not.
They made it for the Sci-Fi Channel, which does not bode well. Always a great sign when they can't even call something what it is. Cough, sports entertainment, cough. That you can't even call it sci-fi. You have to fuck with it until it's a nice, soft, bland thing that you can spoon-feed to the drooling masses. And it just hit me that I'm going full cornet here, so let me just chill and start the movie. Holy shit, you fellas are not going to believe this. They pulled a Danny McBride. Before we even get the opening credits, we see them redoing the ending of the first movie with the clover getting slingshotted into Leppy's mouth. He melts and falls down a well. So this is a sequel that only acknowledges the first movie. Now, Danny McBride's Halloween was in 2018, and this one was in 2019, so I'm not saying Mark Jones is biting anyone's rhymes here, but, you know. Oh, and Mark Holton is back as the special needs fella from the first one. It's good to see Pee Wee Herman's old nemesis still getting work, though it is a little cringy to see him still going full special guy about 30 years later. He apparently missed the memo that Robert Downey Jr. sent out about 10 years ago. So far, this is, boys, hey, fellas, OTC Nation, so far, this is not bad. I know, I'm as shocked as you are. It's a little far-fetched, I won't lie, so in going full-on McBride Halloween, the main character is Jennifer Aniston from the first movie's daughter. She's going to college in the same town that the first movie took place in, and the old house that Aniston and her dad lived in where they fought the Leppy is turned into like a sorority house / green in the middle of the desert somewhere. And it's like way the fuck out there in the desert. Like, I now live in the middle of nowhere in central Michigan in a town of 1,400 people, and we are a city-ass city compared to this place. Yet this sorority house, quote-unquote, is full of hippies who have made it solar, and they've already mentioned kale like twice in 10 minutes, and despite how unlikely this is, again, it's not bad, and that's got to be the most unrealistic thing about this so far. One good thing we have gotten here is that none of the other Leppy movies, something that none of the other Leppy movies gave us, gore. Like, finally, gore can be just as effectively used to shock and disturb as it can be to make you laugh or make something endearingly ridiculous, which they did here. Ozzy, the handyman special guy, gets some of the well water on him, the well that the Leppy was dispatched in, and a few minutes later, Leppy bursts out of his torso fully formed, and it was delightfully gross. I can relate. When my gallbladder was trying to kill me, that's pretty much what it felt like a angry Leppy was trying to get out of my torso. The girls are turning their sorority house into a completely sustainable commune for a project, and over Act 1 and into Act 2, we get them all working together, and the usual, in this case usual means boring, exposition of all their relationships and who they are is horror movie tropes so overdone, overwritten, and overacted that they make the characters in the story of Ricky look understated. Finally, in a perplexing Jaws ripoff, in a flooded basement, Leppy finally shows up, and it all gets pretty standard by-the-numbers horror movie. There's the final girl, the super smart, uptight girl, the sassy girl, and the drunk, party-all-the-time girl who is simultaneously cute and gross.
Yeah.
There's also two dudes, one dumbass jock guy and his wimpy friend. So, you know, we pretty much all know where this is going. But it's all fine because we've all seen horror movies and we know how it goes. This movie without the stereotypes would be like a wrestling match without an Irish whip. Like, does it need to be there? No. Would it be glaringly obvious if it was missing? Yeah. It's all pretty standard, and I don't think I could make anything funny out of a plot we've seen a few hundred times by now. But fuck me if they didn't go for it. This is probably the only Leppy movie where it felt like they wanted to make this movie. Not just make it, but actually make it good. Huh. The jokes weren't terrible. Lyndon Porco played Leppy to an almost Warwick Davis level, and I don't know, shit. I guess here's the thing, the good. Finally, someone realized that while horror doesn't always need blood and guts to be good, it certainly fucking helps it along. Also, I'd like to amend what I said a little earlier about Mark Holton as Ozzy. He actually played it not only respectfully, but actually pretty funny. Like, my original opinion was just based on the first scene he was in, and I quickly realized how wrong I was. So much so that I wanted to save my retraction for the good. The bad. This is weird. The bad is that I bet hardly anyone saw this. Hell, I'd bet hardly anyone even knows this exists. I didn't until a few weeks ago, and get this. I shit you not, I know this is a hell of a thing to say. This and Part 3 are tied for the best Leppy movie. I think I even liked this one better. Boys, this is the best Leppy movie. There, I said it.
All right.
Leppy Returns is going to get a B-. Who saw that coming? Who knew?
Nobody.
Twist. Leppy, as a whole, the entire Leprechaun franchise is going to get a wet fart of a D. Which leads us to Billiam.
Yeah.
My good friend. I shudder to think. I don't have the Shudder streaming service, by the way. I just shudder to think. What's next?
Good band. Wasn't it Trancers? Was it Trancers or Scanners?
Ooh.
I think it was Trancers.
Yeah, why not? That one looks, yeah.
All right, OTC Nation, you heard the man. I'll be back with that next week. Hopefully it doesn't suck. Until then, be good, everyone.
All right. Who would have known?
That's surprising.
Man, Leprechaun movies. What a slog
I know.
for him to get
He's
through.
such a trooper.
Speaking of slugs, people that aren't troopers, here's Reverend Scott.
But he's about 1.5 miles away from him when he spots him.
That's true.
They're using fucking binoculars, and this dude is about 6 miles closer to the exit and his car. Because this poor guy has to run through all these white people that are out in the middle of the day for no reason, because nobody has jobs. And he chases him down and catches him.
Well,
How?
Yeah, he's Jim Brown. He's an all-pro running back for the Cleveland Browns.
I'm sorry, if I was 300 feet to my car and Jim Brown was at conservatively 2,000 feet away, I could probably make it to my car.
No, he would catch you, Chris. When's the last time you ran?
Look, I'm just
No. When's the last time you ran?
I don't know, a couple days ago.
No, it wasn't a couple. You're a liar.
For like, well, I mean, if
When's the last time you ran more than 100 feet?
30 years. Yeah, I don't run.
Yeah, I don't run.
Yeah, nothing's that important. What?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. With Reverend Scott.
Oh my God, nothing good is ever going to happen. Oh wait, is that a twinkle in the void? Oh no, shit, it was looking at me.
Speaking of twinkling.
Hey there, Bill and Chris. This is Reverend Scott.
The Sandwich Man.
You got that right. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about something I've been watching based on your own recommendation.
Oh shit.
And have I been wasting my time doing it? I guess you'll have to wait and find out.
Oh, shit.
Because first you have to hear me talk a little bit about your reviews of Black Gun and Hurricane Smith.
I don't care.
So first review was for Black Gun. It's a blaxploitation movie. I know this because it has black in the title. It also has running back Jim Brown in it, a man you both obviously respect very much.
You watch the movie and you say to yourself, man, that motherfucker cannot act.
Right.
But there's one thing he could do, and that's beat the ever-living shit out of the cast on camera in real life. He hit one guy so hard that it hurt Bill.
And I cringed. Physically was like, ah.
Yeah.
And for that alone, I give this review an A. After that was Gale Force Gary or something. Let's hear a trailer.
Carl Weathers, Hurricane Smith. He's bringing his kind of thunder down under.
This is going to be fun.
Man, that trailer's way better than the movie.
And with a name like Dust Devil Daryl, you know he has the punches to back up his name.
So he hits like a hurricane, which means only during certain times of the year with a slowly, gradually increasing danger and
a lull in the middle.
And randomly. Okay.
Well, I mean, you could track him.
That's a good point. And wherever you see he's at, you need to go the other way because Tropical Storm Steven is nothing to fuck with. But what about his movie?
I don't know. And then, it's just pedestrian is the word for this movie. It's just, there's nothing about it.
Yeah.
It's interesting enough to keep your attention. This movie sucks, man. Chris, do you not recommend it? And what is your shitty grade for it?
But the real question is what is my shitty grade for your review? Well, you said the movie was boring, which starts with the letter B. So I give it a B.
Okay. I don't understand what one has to do with the other, but okay.
So that brings me to what I've been watching based on your recommendation.
Oh, shit.
From your boy Hulu comes Pam and Tommy. That's right, I've been enjoying the height and boobs and penis special effects technology. And I have to agree with you both. The combination of wardrobe or lack thereof, along with hair and makeup and silicone and fake tattoos and sheer devotion to character by Bucky and Baby Driver's girlfriend, totally transforms these two actors into their celebrity sex tape counterparts. And let's not forget Seth Rogen. He's totally believable as a pot smoker with a small penis that wears oversized acid-wash jeans.
Yeah, I agree.
And now that I've been watching this series, I'm here to talk about all of it.
Hey, wait, stop!
Don't worry, Chris. I'm not going to talk about all of it. Just some highlights so far. So starting with the first 1 to 2 episodes, you're like, yeah, Tommy's a dick with a big dick, and Pam is a vapid bimbo from Baywatch, but why do I care about this? But then something wondrous happens. You start to get to know them a little bit more, and more importantly, mainly due to a tragic event they faced together privately, you really start to care about Pam and Tommy.
I didn't know you could do that.
When you start seeing the fallout behind the scenes after the tape starts to spread, with the stigma felt by Pamela and the frustration of feeling helpless by Tommy, it's hard not to feel bad for them. I'm not all the way through the series yet, so I'm pumped to finish it. Right now, Tommy is learning all about the Streisand effect by suing Penthouse in an attempt to prevent them from using stills from the tape in their magazine.
Holy shit, this guy is done fucking around.
Which basically guaranteed it would happen.
Dumbass.
Meanwhile, Tommy's private eye and biker gang buddies are out for blood, trying to get back the stuff Seth Rogen stole from Pam and Tommy. That's the point where Seth Rogen realizes,
hey, listen, they're going to come for these. This is a big deal. They're going to come for these and probably kill everyone they need to get them back.
Yeah.
It's a big fucking mess, and I know it's only going to get worse, and I'm here for every second of it. But unfortunately for you, every second of this segment is about over with. So make sure you all tune in to Outside the Cinema next week when Chris reminisces about the first time we met.
He was wearing a onesie.
Bill reviews my own sex tape.
It is so...
Wow.
It's not good.
Okay.
It's not good. But, sexy.
And finally, Chris tells us what HR said when he tried to watch the real Pam and Tommy sex tape at work, strictly for research purposes.
And that's just, it's not the best time.
All that and so many other things coming at you at not the best time. But until then, peace and love, guys.
Wear a linen suit.
That's true.
Wear a linen suit.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, shit.
You know what we're doing
Not
next
yet.
week?
No.
Did you decide yet? All right, cool.
I'm going to get through today and then...
All right, guys. Well, follow us on the places, OTC Bill at Cthulhu. We have a Facebook group, but mostly the Patreon, patreon.com/outside the cinema. $5 a month gets you access to the show archives in the private feed. $10 a month, we'll program a show for you. You just got to tell us what you want us to program on.
Yeah, that's helpful.
That's how it works. So if you're one of those $10 people, let us know.
Yeah.
That's really all we got. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to watch us live on Twitch, or you want to watch replays of the show, you can watch them on Twitch. You can also watch replays of the show on YouTube. I set that up at some point. I don't know.
I like how it's a surprise.
So go to youtube.com/outside the cinema. It's there. Thanks, guys. Later.